Good morning, Guardians. I'm here working just like you. I did a 2-day K-12 summit the other day, and so the next 7 trainings, the roll call trainings, will come from that. The first one I want us to do is I want you to think about, determine, and actually disseminate information on a Duress code. This is different than the regular codes you have because this is never given to a student. In one of the videos you watched, you saw the guys make entry into the room and they were asking if everybody was okay in the room. If in the case that the hostage taker is in the room with them, the teacher needs to be able to speak to you in a manner and give you a code while they're speaking in a regular tone that can alert you without alerting anybody else in the room, including the hostage taker. So that's something we want to be thinking about, and it needs to be unique to your school so it won't be uniformed. Also, we're going to do penetration testing in the next 2 or 3 weeks so I can come by. What you will need to know is the furthest point from your school to the cafeteria. And then secondly, you will need to identify your most vulnerable entry point, and you will need to know the distance or the time it takes you to travel from the furthest point on campus to that most vulnerable entry. The reason we're doing this is because we would have an idea of a response time that even if they're moving, you can minimize your response time. So that's going to give you a more readied or varied response or necessity to learn your campus, learn to traverse the distances, and make sure that you can get there within a certain time frame or go another route if you have to once you realize that that entry has been breached. So when I come by to talk to you to make sure you have your uniforms and everything else, I'm also going to ask you what your distance is, what your most vulnerable entry point is, how long it takes you to get from the furthest distance to that entry point, and then how long it takes you to get from the furthest distance to the cafeteria. Try and do this when the children are not around so that you don't panic people, but do it at a brisk pace so you can at least have an idea of how long it's going to take. I don't expect you to sprint, but do it as quickly as you can move without alarming people, or do it in the morning before anybody gets there. But this information is necessary so we can catalog it. Be safe, and I'll talk to you again soon.